Hello, my name is Alexis, and for about 4 years now, I have been really wanting to make an AuthorTube channel. So this is me finally just doing the damn thing. So I thought I would do the AuthorTube Newbie Tag 2.0 and answer those questions. Okay, so number one is, what is your book's pitch? If you have multiple works, choose your favorite. Okay, this is gonna sound a little ridiculous, but I am very terrified to share my ideas with anybody, especially out on the internet. So I'm not gonna share the idea of the work that I'm currently working on. I'll tell you guys the idea of something that I've shelved. And then if you tell me that it's interesting, maybe I'll pick it back up and try to revise it. Also, I just want to say, I know it's very pretentious to be like, I'm so scared to like steal my ideas, like they're so great, I don't want anyone to steal them, but okay, it's a fear. I'm so sorry. Okay, anyways. So the one that I shelved, it is a fantasy, and it has a trio of 3 friends, and basically they live in a society where it's kind of like Avatar, so each group has a specific kind of magic until one day they find out someone can do multiple kinds, and they don't really know why. The whole society kind of feels like they've been lied to, so that's kind of the premise of that book. I would say, if I had to pitch it, I would say it is the magic system of Avatar meets the family dynamic of Cruel Prince by Holly Black, because the main family has a lot of drama going on. The daughter really hates the dad, but the dad adores the daughter, very similar to Cruel Prince, if you've ever read that. Number 2 is, if you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? I would say I am the bubbliness and girliness of Elle Woods meets the brutal honesty of Sheldon Cooper with like a splash of dark humor. That's what I would say. Number 3 is, what do you usually write? I typically usually write YA or adults. Even more specifically, I would say the main character is typically very sarcastic, very voicey, very bantery. That's typically who I go for as the main character, whether it's a guy or a girl. Speaking of, I just want to say really quick, I have a bone to pick with the whole she's not like other girls thing that everybody loves to hate on so much, because what does that even mean? What does that even mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What does it mean? What does it mean to be like a girl, or to be like other girls? Like, wouldn't you argue that each individual woman is unique in her own right? So just because a woman is sarcastic, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Anyways. Also, just because a character is sarcastic or strong doesn't mean that they're anything like each other. For example, I often think of Triss from Divergent and Katniss from The Hunger Games. Like, both of those characters, both female, both very sarcastic, both very strong, but completely different in terms of like how they solve problems and the rest of their personality. So like, for example, I would say Triss is a lot more frantic and sassy, like when everyone's like, oh, you're not gonna shoot me, and then she ends up shooting someone. She's like, why does everybody keep saying that? Versus Katniss is, I feel like, a lot more cold and a little bit more reserved, and even though she's sarcastic, it's more so like in her head. She doesn't really, she gets like a couple little one-liners, but she mostly keeps everything on the inside, or at least that's my interpretation. Anyway, sorry, got off on a tangent. Rant over. Maybe comment down below what your opinion is of the not like other girls whole scenario. Let me know. Okay, number 4 is, what is something you'll never write? I don't know that I can answer this one, because I don't like saying never. You never know what's gonna happen in the future, you know? I think one of the beautiful things about writing is that you can explore, and later on down the road, you might write something that you never thought you were gonna even explore, but you did later on. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about being in a creative space. I would say at the present moment, if I like absolutely had to answer the question, something I personally don't see myself writing is spice, which is a little ironic because I like to read spice, but in terms of writing it, I just feel uncomfortable. Like, if I had to sit down on the computer and type out a spicy scene, I would just feel like I'm interrupting. I would feel uncomfortable. I would feel weird about it. I don't know. Also, because I typically tend to share a lot of my work with people that are very close to me, specifically family members, so I can't imagine what I would do if my grandma or my uncle read a spicy scene that I wrote. I think I would just jump right into a 6-foot hole, because I would not. No, I'm so sorry. That's not for me. No. But again, never say never. That's what I would assume that I'm not gonna write in the future though. Okay, number 5 is, what's your goal for starting your AuthorTube channel? I would say my main goal is to find writer friends and have a community, because I really need accountability, and I really love the networking of AuthorTube. I love seeing groups that get together and do writing sprints, and I love seeing them comment on each other's things and beta read for each other and support each other. I would say the main reason why I feel like that's what I'm looking for is because even though my husband is great and he's very, very supportive and he will read anything that I ask him to read that I've written, he can give feedback, but he doesn't give it in like a writer brain feedback. So for example, he might read a scene, he might can't talk, he might read a scene and he might say, I don't really like this scene as much, but when I ask why, he can't really put into words the reasoning. For example, a writer friend might be like, okay, well, I feel like you used a lot of crutch words here, or I feel like this is passive voice, or I feel like this character arc is just not landing for me. Whereas my husband, even though he'll read it and he'll tell me his initial thoughts and his opinions, he can't really give me like the writer's vocabulary for what's going on, or why he doesn't like it, or why he thinks it could be better. So I would really love people that could work with me in that sense. Like a job application almost. Anyways, okay, number 6 is what made you start writing? I can't think of an exact moment. I would say deep down, I've just always loved writing. Even when I was little, I would ask my mom to write down what I would say before I even knew how to write words. I would say, Mom, can you record what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you a story. And she would get out a pen and she would say, okay. And then I would just blah, 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 blah. And it would be something really stupid, like about a ladybug or something. But I would just ask her to write down what I was saying and she would do it. And so I feel like I've just always had a passion for it. So I don't think I have one specific moment. Number 7 is, what's your publishing path? Self-published, traditional published, hybrid, or haven't decided yet, or just for fun? So I'm gonna say ideally traditionally publish. Personally, I don't plan on self-publishing ever / at all. So if you ever read something of mine, the goal is for it to be from a bookstore because you got it off the shelf. That's the goal. I'm gonna work really, really, really hard to achieve it. And it's not something that I really am willing to change my goals on. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, well, I didn't, I keep not getting an agent, or I keep not getting, something sold on submission, so I'm just gonna default to self-pub. I don't want that to be the goal. I want to just keep trying and getting better until I ultimately achieve it. So maybe being vulnerable and holding myself accountable with you guys will help with that. So number 8 is, what content do you bring to the AuthorTube table? Wow, what a loaded question for your first video. I would say I bring me to the table. And I know that sounds really corny, but nobody in the world has my exact personality, just like nobody in the world has your exact personality. So there is a very famous quote about creative works, and I can't remember who said it, but it goes something like, everything's already been done before, the only thing new is you. And I used to really hate that, but now that I'm older, I really love it because it's really true. The base of every story has been told before. The only thing that's different is you. So like, how are you gonna make it different, So I bring me and my amazing personality. How about that? I would also, aside from me, obviously, I would also really love to do more writing craft videos. When I was first learning to write, especially, I didn't see that many videos on craft specifically, or if I did, it would be the same basic advice that everybody gives, right? Like, showing versus telling, or basic save the cat, plot structure, beat sheet. I didn't see things that I've noticed that Delilah, sorry, her little debut. I didn't see some of the other things that I've learned that people don't really talk about as much, that I would love to kind of dive deeper into, especially for newer writers who maybe don't know about some of the rules or some of the things that you can talk about. So, and then lastly, I know I have some dark humor, but I'd like to think that I'm really supportive. And if you're someone that has an AuthorTube dream and you want to achieve it, I want to be there to support you. I want to cheer you on. I want to be there when your book gets published. I want to be there when you get an agent. I want to be there when you get the cover for your first self-published novel. I want to be there when you finish your first draft. Like, I want to support people in the way that I kind of wish I was supported throughout my whole journey. And that doesn't mean that I wasn't being supported at all, but I just didn't have a community. And I would really, really love to do that. Sorry, I don't know what. My dogs are playing in the background. All right, number 9 is, what is your biggest writing struggle? personally, my biggest writing struggle is that I am a underwriter. I have gotten better as time has gone on, but I am always, because it's happening in my head, I feel like the words get put on the page, and then when I go back to revise, I'm like, actually, no, that was never said. It was never said. It was all in my head and it was never put down on the page. So I would say being an underwriter, it can be really frustrating. In fact, I would go as far to say that I'm typically someone that does a 0 draft, because it takes me about 2 passes through the manuscript for me to consider it like a first draft, because normally I will forget a certain amount of scenes, or I will forget to sprinkle in a character in a scene, or I will forget to add certain sentences. I would say I give myself he really just wants to be the star of the show. I would say I give myself the bare bones, the skeleton of a project. I'm so sorry if they're distracting. I would say I give myself the bare bones skeleton of a project. Being an underwriter is definitely, I would say, my biggest struggle. And then number 10 is, what is your best writing skill? Bless you. I would say, personally, I think I can create really good banter, specifically with 2 characters that like love/hate each other. So for example, think Captain America and Iron Man. Think Luke Danes and Taylor from Gilmore Girls, people like that. I think I'm really good at creating like a back and forth banter in that kind of way. Number 11 is, if you're new to AuthorTube, what is your biggest AuthorTube question? I would say I've been in the AuthorTube world for a while, but mostly as a consumer, not as a creator. So I guess I would ask creators, what is your favorite and your least favorite thing about being a creator in this space? Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Number 12 is, are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, CPs, or other types of writer buddies? If so, tell us who you're looking for and connect with them in the comments. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little confused by the way this question is worded. Like, is it just asking me in general, do I want that? Or is it asking me to just fangirl in the comments with people that I've liked and would like to be their friend? But I'm gonna take it as the second. I'm just gonna fangirl for a second. If you are Brielle Wrights, Cody the Writer, Andy E. Sears, Alyssa in the Books, I would love to be your friend. I really love the community that you guys have created for each other. I feel like you guys really support each other in a really genuine way, and I really, really love that. So consider this my official application to be your friend. Let me know in 5 to 10 business days if I made the cut. Also, in a dream world, I would love to be friends with Natalia Lee. I think she's really cool. I also love horses. I also love video games. She's someone that I watched a lot when I was in my beginner writer journey. I would say around 23. I watched her all the time. I would watch her writing streams to try to get motivated to get words on my page, and I just thought she was really, really cool, and she has very much inspired. Oh my gosh, you guys, they literally never do this. Well, they do, but it's not so early in the day. Like, it'll never be when I'm doing something important, you know what I mean? So Natalia, if you're watching, this is also my official application to be your friend. Number 13 is, what are you most excited for during this new fresh start on AuthorTube? And I would say, gosh, I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of scared, because making a YouTube channel is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, but I just couldn't find the right content. But AuthorTube, I feel like, is something that I can consistently put things out for and come up with ideas and keep it consistent. So I would say I'm scared, but like in a good way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm terrified, but I'm happy about it, if that makes sense. So I guess I would just say I'm excited for the journey. You know, here we go. Let's go. No time like the present. Okay, so yeah, that's me. That's the end of the tag. Because it's my first video, I feel like it's a little weird to just do the tag and like you guys don't know anything else about me. So let me give you a few like rapid fire facts about me. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you guys? I guess fact number 1 is I have 2 dogs. One is named Delilah and one is named Trunks. This is Delilah. Say hi, Delilah. Yes. She's beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. Say hi, Trunks. Yes, he's very handsome. Delilah is named after Hey There Delilah, and Trunks is named after a Dragon Ball Z character, if any of those things interest you. And then for my second fact, I would say I really love to play video games. If you are a gamer, please let me know. Drop your gamer tag. We can play some things together. Here are a few of my favorites. I'll try to pop them up on the screen. Fun fact number 3, I would say my favorite kinds of workouts are yoga and boxing videos. So if you're into either of those, comment down below. Maybe you could share your workout routine with me. Oh, now you guys want to be calm. Now they've calmed down, now that I put them on camera. For number 4, I said I used to be a classroom teacher, but I quit because I think teacher conditions, especially nowadays, are absolutely crazy. You get asked to do way too much for not enough money. So if you are a teacher out there, my heart is with you. Or if you used to teach, or if you're currently teaching, comment down below, let me know how your experience is going with that. My heart really truly is with you. It's crazy. It is such a rewarding job. It is also such a emotionally, mentally taxing job. And ultimately it just wasn't out for me anymore, unfortunately, as much as I miss my kids. Number 5 is, last but not least, I'm excited to be here. Comment down below what brought you to AuthorTube in the first place as a consumer or as a creator. And it was really nice to meet you all. See you next time.